Hey everyone, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com. I hope you're having a great day. Got a product review for you today, another set of speakers. These are the KRK Rokit 5s. Great set of speakers from KRK Systems. They pretty much are a company that makes just speakers, studio monitors. They make two pairs of headphones right now that are awesome. I'm using their headphones also, the 6400s by the way. This is a great speaker for the home project studio owner, okay? Because that's pretty much whom I'm addressing today. If you're following this channel, following this website, you probably are looking for an affordable setup. And if you already have your interface, you've got your headphones, and maybe you haven't jumped onto the bandwagon of having a set of studio monitors and you're looking to spend a little bit of money, you're thinking, how much do I have to spend to get speakers that tell me what my mixes sound like? I would say this $300 a pair price range, which these Rokit 5s are in, is a great option to go for. That's a threshold I think that's going to work for you in your home studio. So these guys are 5-inch speakers. The Rokit series has a 6-inch, they have an 8-inch. They're all going to be great options. I personally am using the 5-inch speakers because I feel like in my room I don't need to pump that much sound. I've had 8-inch speakers before in a similar size room than this, and it was just way too much sound. So the 5-inch speaker I think is going to be perfect for most people unless you have a really, really big room. I don't use a sub, I'm just using these. You're not going to get the bass response that you would on a bigger speaker. It's just physics. The bigger the surface area, the longer the sound waves we can create. Subwoofers help also. So you have to know that, and you have to use it in your room and learn, okay, when you put a mix on and there's not a whole lot of bass, that's just the way these speakers might sound in your room. So be aware of that. Now what they have is a bass port on the bottom, and a lot of speakers in this price range do this, right? I've reviewed the Truths from Behringer, and they have a bass port on the back. A lot of the speakers, the bass port is on the back. Ironically, they put it on the front. This can be a good and a bad thing. It can be mostly a good thing because most of you, if you're in a bedroom or small studio, you have your speakers pretty close to a wall. In this case, pretty close to a corner, which is usually not the best environment because bass frequencies, low frequencies, like to build up in corners and they build up in walls. So the closer you are to the wall, you'll get more of a bass response than is actually happening in your mix, and you'll trick yourself into thinking you hear more bass than you do. So you'll think the bass is good. You take the mix out to your car or elsewhere, and you're like, where did the bass go? I thought I had the bass. It's because your room's telling you have bass. The wall has bass, not your mix. So to compensate for that, they do have a bass port to push some low-end air to give you more of a bass response, but instead of going back and hitting the wall where the bass could get trapped, it pushes it forward, which is kind of cool. So you will get less. I get less bass response on this than I do on other speakers in this price range, but it's forcing me to mix a little bit differently, and that can be a good or a bad thing. Again, you have to learn your room, learn your speakers, but a real simple speaker, the tweeter, the 5-inch woofer there, and on the back you've got two knobs. Obviously your volume knob, so you can adjust the speaker to your other speaker, to your interface's main volume knob, get a good output level without having to crank your mixer or your interface. And then you have a high frequency level adjust knob, which is pretty common in speakers in this category. It can cut or boost the high frequencies, in particular on this speaker, to compensate mostly for your room. So a lot of rooms have excess high frequency information. You might notice this when you mix. You think things sound crisp and bright, punchy. You take the mix out and it sounds muffled. You're listening to it in the car, it doesn't cut through, it doesn't have that shimmer that you thought it did. It's because you don't actually have that mixed in your mix. You're hearing that in your room. And so a knob like this, you can dial back, cut out some of the high frequencies because your room is giving you more high frequencies than you need. And what that'll do for you is force you to mix in more high frequencies in the mix so that you're not getting tricked. It sounds confusing, but it's a helpful adjustment knob that you can, on a step, rotation, find it so that it's giving you an accurate representation of your mix. So use reference mixes to get that set. Really simple though, one knob. Then you got your standard connections, RCA connections. So if you have an unbalanced audio interface or even like a stereo, can do the simple SPDIF looking cables, the RCA little cables. But your best bet is the balanced connections, TRS, which is a balanced 1/4 inch. or XLR, so coming out of your interface or your mixer, power switch, and of course these are self-powered active monitors. There's no power amp needed. It's built in, so you just plug these straight into the wall. So it's a pretty standard speaker. It's really solid, really heavy. This is the redesign of the Rokit 5s. I think they've done a smoother contour. They say the shape of the speaker helps the sound. They're always improving. Here's the thing. With KRK, this is what they do. They make studio monitors. So they make speakers that are in pro studios all over the world. I mean, read any audio magazine and look at the speakers. You're going to see a couple of different things. You're going to see Yamaha NS10s. You're going to see, you're going to see a lot of different high-end speakers. But look, you're going to see a yellow cone in there somewhere. You're going to see the higher end line of KRK. So they make a speaker that the pros rely on, and so then the Rokit line is their more affordably priced speaker for you, for me, for a small project studio that's doing local bands, that's doing some mixing, a home studio where you really want something that's accurate, that you can depend on. The Rokits are great. I'm using them. You can tell I got a speaker missing over there because I'm actually using these right now. I've had them maybe 3-4 months. And I love them. I'm still learning them. I'm still learning them in my room compared to other speakers I've used, and wanted to get the review out so you could either get my opinion on it if you care, for what it's worth. I'm just a guy, but I think these are a great speaker, and again, for someone that's looking for a set of speakers that doesn't have one, you really can't go wrong. The price is phenomenal, the craftsmanship is there, it's a quality piece of gear. You're going to have these forever. If you put these in your studio, these are going to be great for a long time to come. So the KRK Rokit 5s, I give them a thumbs up. I can't really give you an audio example of what they sound like. I've had people comment on previous product reviews of speakers I've done where they said, hey, how come you didn't include an audio sample? I don't really know how that's feasible for a speaker. I'd have to put a microphone up to the speaker, and then what you're hearing is my mix through a speaker in my room, through a microphone, into an audio interface, converted into a video on the internet, on YouTube, compressed, so you would have actually still no idea what the speaker sounds like. So there's nothing I can really do for you with speakers. It's kind of weird. You got to hear it in your room with your ears, with the style of music you like to work on. But I will say, it's really worth the price. Pick them up. If you don't like them, you could usually return them at a good, reputable dealer. Can't go wrong for the price, and it's going to give you what you need, which is a flat, accurate studio monitor, revealing how good or bad your mixes really are. Hope that helps. Again, this is Graham at therecordingrevolution.com with the KRK Rokit 5s. Awesome speakers. Check them out. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you on another one soon.